Hi, this is Ken Murphy with SAPinsider. I am at the SAPinsider Financials 2016 event in Las Vegas. This afternoon, I am pleased to be joined by Paul Ovigele, who is the founder of ERPFixers. And he is here today to talk to us a little bit about SAP S/4HANA Finance and the Universal Journal. Paul, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Ken.
I was hoping to start if you could just address how significant an evolution it is to have a single or one line item table in a Universal Journal and with the full detail of components.
I think it's very significant. I think when I used to, about 10 years ago, and I have a lot of clients who have had so many problems trying to reconcile the different modules in the FICO space with the general ledger. And now with the Universal Journal, you have the fixed asset module, the CO module, the COPA module, and the material ledger module all in one table. So I think it's a pretty huge deal.
One of the things that you've written about is for companies that are considering a migration to S/4HANA, that COPA in S4 is accounts-based rather than costing-based. I'm just wondering why that is if most companies run a costing-based version.
That's a good question. The reason is because custom-based COPA uses value fields, while account-based COPA uses general ledger accounts. So it was an easier integration to have account-based COPA in the same table as the general ledger rather than custom-based COPA. So that's, even though most companies use custom-based, it was easier to have account-based in that same table, in the Universal Journal table.
So what does that mean for a business using a costing-based version of profitability analysis and the steps they need to take to run the account-based COPA?
Right, so for business using costing-based, you can still stay on costing-based. But in order to have COPA integrated with the Universal Journal, you also have to activate account-based COPA. You can actually run them together, but only one will be integrated with the other components such as the general ledger, CO, and the other tables in the Universal Journal.
So you can use both, but what challenges does that present to use a dual version approach?
So to use the dual version, I can think of a couple of challenges. One of them is that with a dual version, you have more data in your table because account-based and custom-based populate two different tables. So you're just having more data in your system. And then the second thing I can think of is it might be a little confusing if you have both account and custom-based. If someone says, could you run a COPA report, which one do you run?
So do the benefits of S4 warrant transitioning to accounts-based version for the company that's satisfied kind of with their current costing-based approach?
I think so. I think over the years I've had so many complaints about not being able to reconcile COPA to the general ledger. That's costing-based COPA to the general ledger. And the amount of processes that need to take place at month end in order to reconcile, it takes so long that I think even with the extra steps needed to set up account-based COPA, I think is definitely worth it.
Beyond that, on the flip side, are there any other sort of disadvantages to running account-based COPA?
There are some disadvantages, and I think these disadvantages are the reason why I think if you use custom-based COPA for these things, you might want to keep it. And one is that with account-based COPA, you're not able to have statistical conditions mapped into the account-based COPA table. Account-based COPA only gets the data from the general ledger. With custom-based COPA, if you have accruals and statistical conditions, even though they don't have general ledger accounts, you can still map them in. So that's one disadvantage. Another one is with custom-based COPA, you can do repostings to COPA only. There's some transactions like KE4S, KE4S-MM. But with account-based COPA, if it didn't come from the general ledger, you can't get it in there. So that's another disadvantage.
Okay, and lastly, Paul, what other questions are you hearing from your clients about what S4 brings and the differences that it might have for an organization's finance team and just accounts and accounts reconciliations?
Yeah, I mean, with S/4HANA, everybody's interested. Everyone is interested in what exactly does this mean to our current SAP platform. They know a lot of the benefits of S/4HANA, but they want to know that how much pain is it going to be to go from where they are to S/4HANA. They've done a lot of work to get their system stabilized and the way they want it, but going over to a totally brand new system, obviously that fear of the unknown takes place. So that's a lot of what I'm hearing from my clients.
Right. Okay. Great. Well, Paul, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Again, this is Ken Murphy with SAP Insider, and we have been chatting with Paul Ovigele of ERPFixers.